And joining me now is Michael Scheuer, the man who created and led the CIA unit that tracked Osama bin Laden for 10 years. He left the agency just over a year ago. Mr. Scheuer, how seriously should we take this threat?
Oh, I think we should take it very seriously, Mr. Scheuer. Bin Laden has been quiet for a year. The last time he spoke, it was a warning to the United States. This one is clearly another warning to the United States. And it's very similar to the offer of a truce that he gave to the Europeans about 2 years ago. They paid no attention to what he said, and then thereafter they attacked, Al-Qaeda did attack twice in London. So I think it'd be foolish not to take this as a very serious threat to the United States.
What some of the analysts are saying is there's been sort of no uptick in what they call the chatter, communications and so forth, that there was, as we know now, before 9/11. What do you say to that?
I think silence is always a more powerful and more disturbing tactic than a lot of chatter is, sir. I've never read much into whether there's chatter or not chatter. The important thing on bin Laden is the correlation between what he says he's going to do and what he does is pretty close to 100% over the past decade. He's a very deadly serious man, and I wouldn't make any wishful thinking based on whether there's chatter or not.
Well, nobody can read these people's minds, of course, but why would you think now that he has made this? And is there any significance in whether he made this threat in recent days, or did he make it some other time? Or
I think it probably reflects, sir, that whatever he's had in preparation is probably close to fruition. And he's speaking today in a very historic manner for Islam. Offering a truce, offering a ceasefire before you attack your enemy is a very traditional thing to do. The Prophet Muhammad offered a truce to the infidels. Saladin, when he was fighting the Europeans during the Crusades, offered them truces. Bin Laden here is speaking as much to the Islamic world as he is to Americans, saying to them, listen, I've gone the extra mile with the Americans. I've warned them repeatedly. If they don't take this offer, I'm going to attack them.
Is there any way to speculate on what kind of attack this would be? Does he give any suggestion or hint?
Well, he does speak very clearly about the ability of Al-Qaeda to infiltrate major capitals. I would suspect that intimating in that is another attack on Washington. They believe they failed in Washington in the sense that they wanted to hit the Pentagon harder and they wanted to hit the Congress, and they only succeeded in the Pentagon instance. And in a greater sense for Americans, our borders are still wide open, and as far as I know, the Soviet nuclear arsenal is not under control yet. And so I would think very much that bin Laden is if he has a nuclear device, that's probably what he would lean to.
Do you think it's possible he could have a nuclear device?
I think it's whistling past the graveyard to think that he doesn't, sir. We've known since 1996 that he has a team of scientists and technicians and engineers looking for a weapon so that Al-Qaeda doesn't get scammed. Likewise, we know that the Soviet arsenal is not under control. And we also know that money is no object for Osama bin Laden and his allies. So when you put all of those things together and add in open borders on the United States, I'm not at all confident that we can feel secure that he can't pull off that kind of an attack.
When you talk about the Soviet arsenal, you mean these nuclear warheads and weapons that are in the Soviet Union now and are not very well guarded?
That's right, sir. That's exactly right. You know, I would have thought that the most important thing to do after 9/11 would have been, beyond closing our borders until we got a handle on who was in our country, to make sure that we spent whatever money it took to finish securing the nuclear arsenal of the Soviet Union. And as I understand it, we haven't done that.
You know, I don't want to scare people, but I must say, listening to you, it sounds pretty scary, what you're saying here.
Sir, Osama bin Laden and what he represents, Al-Qaeda and its allies, is a very serious threat to the United States. This is not a threat that should be defined as criminals and gangsters and deviants. These are very serious people. They are our deadly enemies, and they're extraordinarily talented. We can worry about Saddam and we can worry about the Iranians, But the only people capable of attacking us inside the United States on the planet today, really, is Al-Qaeda. And if we don't take that seriously, we're not doing our jobs as in defending America.
Well, what do you mean they're the only people that are able to do that? I mean, can they get a nuclear weapon into this country?
Sir, unless they're crazy enough to try to take whatever weapon they get and walk through a official checkpoint of the United States as a tourist would, there's nothing to stop them from driving, whether it's a conventional or a non-conventional weapon, across the border from Canada or from Mexico. If we can't stop illegal immigration, we certainly can't stop a talented group of people bent on giving their lives to attack the United States.
So just to kind of back up here, you take this very seriously, his threat when he says he's going to launch an attack on the United States?
Oh, I think, sir, absolutely. And simply because the correlation between what he's threatened in the past and what he's done is pretty close to 100%. He's not a man that has much time for chit-chat or for idle threats. He is a man who has consistently fulfilled his word. And to think that it's just blowing gas to have something to say is, I think, a fatal mistake.
All right. Well, Mr. Scheuer, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to talk to you.